what I'm going to be doing here is creating what I'd like to call an audio file album video for YouTube. Now, why would you want to do this? First of all, I think that's self-explanatory. There's a million videos like this on YouTube, and they vary in quality drastically. Okay, so I've seen this done a number of times. Videos made like this that don't come anywhere near to harnessing the audio quality potential that YouTube offers. These days, YouTube offers on their 4K videos 24-bit 96 streaming. So how do we go about creating a video file with 2496 settings that doesn't go through any bounces between your nonlinear video editing programs, such as Final Cut 7 here that I'm using, which I'll go through reasons why I'm still using that later, and your program that compresses it, which I'll be using a compressor for. So the first step in creating a 4K video file with 2496 audio for YouTube, which is our target here, is to go into your Final Cut sequence settings. And you can do this before you set up. I recommend doing this before you set up the sequence, but right now, obviously my sequence is already set up. So we're going to go into settings, and you want to set your audio rate at 96 and your bit depth at 24-bit. I always do Apple ProRes HQ because it's just a fantastic video codec to work with. And then we set our frame size to 4K, which we've done that up here with custom 6x9, and we set it at 3840 by 2160. Okay, let me go back to our sequence here. And then the next step in the process here would be to bring in our image file. So the thing to do there is to bring it, first of all, I work all with TIFF files. And I've found that if you actually go and import them this way here by going to File, Import, and then you bring in your TIFF files that way, it actually doesn't shift the gamma of the photo. Whereas if you take a file like this and you just drag it in like that, and then you drag it into your timeline after that, a lot of times I get massive gamma shifts and even just the color being completely washed out, which is really, really sad. And I don't know the exact inner workings of that, but this is just sort of a trial and error thing that I've done for a long time. And before you do that, you actually want to go up here to User Preferences and go to Editing, and then go here to Imported Still RGB Video Gamma, and set this to, right now it's a 2.22, which is the operating gamma of the photos that I've saved in Final Cut. So you just want to make sure that that matches. And then it matches. And doing source, though, it throws things way off in my experience. So you always want to just come in here and custom set it to match the photo that you're bringing in. So I do that here. I press OK. And then you go here and you go Import File, and then you bring in your appropriate picture file. And then just press Choose, and it'll show up right here like these files do. So I have these large TIFF files that I was using that actually Final Cut right now is struggling to open because they're so large, but at an extremely high resolution 120 film 6x6 Hasselblad photo that I took for this cover for Tyler Burns' Anglo Arts Rhythm Monster from 2014. So anyway, at this point, once you have, just to fast forward, once you have your video, as you can see here, the way that it should be, which is an album cover within a 4K video frame, and once you have your audio and everything, and it looks like there's nothing needs to be rendered anywhere like that, because it never should have needed to be rendered, except for the video portion here on the top, but there should have never been any audio rendering. You just go up here, and actually, first of all, you want to set your out points. So you go there, go back one frame, press output, and then you can see that there's your out point. And then go up and click Export and go to QuickTime Movie. And then just make sure it says Current Settings. Make sure everything looks kind of just like this. But the key is Make Movie Self-Contained here. And what this does, this is the trick, and this is why I love Final Cut 7 is because it has the ability to just stitch things together without reconverting or recompressing anything. And so what we're going to do right now is just create a master file by pressing, you can call it whatever you want, like this, and then by pressing Save. And what it'll do is it'll quickly just stitch together everything you have down here. and it won't re-render anything. Obviously, it already rendered the video file portion of this, but it won't re-render any of the audio. And so you do that, and you click Save, and it'll run through its rigmarole here. But I've already done this, so I'm just going to jump ahead and press Cancel right now. But sit here and wait just for a few minutes while it puts things together. Okay, so here we are opening Compressor, and this begins the stage 2 and like the final stage of creating a compressed video portion, 4K video for YouTube that's just an album cover with completely uncompressed 2496 audio. And so the idea with this is to take a like 300 gigabyte file and make the video portion very compressed, even though it can still be extremely high quality, and then making the audio completely pass through since our conversion on the Pacific Microsonics HD Model 2. So here we go. We're going to bring in a file, the file that we exported from Final Cut Pro 7, and this is the self-contained file. And so I'm going to go in and grab that, and so here I have it labeled 4K RAW. And so I'm going to take that and just drop it in here into Compressor and get rid of this window. Okay, so I have my 4K RAW video that's, again, is just stitched together and has zero audio conversion done on it thus far since Pacific Microsonics. And I'm going to go down here, and I've already created a album artwork preset to make an album artwork video. And I'm going to take that up here, and I'm going to drop it here. And I'm going to show you what my settings are in here right now. So you open this up in the inspector here, and I'm not sure if I can make this any bigger. I don't think I can. It's kind of one of the shortcomings of this program, but I'll just talk through it here. So you go to the second tab here, and essentially what this file is, for those of you who are familiar with video formats, is it's actually not an H.264 MPEG-4 video. It's actually a .mov video with X.264, which is also an H.264 codec, but it's the best one out there, so if you're not using it, you better be using it. With H.264 encoding on the video, we're going to go to video settings here, and I'll show you that. So the X.264 encoder here, and I set it here at 10,000 kilobytes a second, which is more than enough for a brilliant 4K image. I actually don't even know what the lowest would be that you could set it at, but there's absolutely no difference because, again, this is a giant video file that's playing one frame for the entire video. And for this album, it's like 55 minutes long. So what we do is we go here now, and we just press OK. And the key here on this guy here is you see audio, it's actually dimmed here. That's because I have it set on pass-through, which is this really cool setting, which is like the crux of this entire ability to take your audio recordings from the studio, which we recorded onto a Tascam DA3000, which is our favorite hard disk recorder. And so I just have those files from the Tascam DA3000, and that's what I brought into Final Cut. So anyway, fast forwarding back to here, so far there's been absolutely no extra audio conversion, as I've said probably way too many times now, but it's really exciting because that way you can actually take those files straight to YouTube. And I'm not sure, I need to look into this, they may actually convert it to AIFF. I'm not sure what its lossless quality file is. I'm not sure, I don't think it's streaming a .wave, which is what these files are, but we'll see. But at the end of the day, you're still skipping a million stages of conversion to make this album video. And so anyway, we hit audio pass-through, we go like that, and we're set to go. Yeah, again, if this is set on something else, you just want to make sure it's set on QuickTime Movie. And you just want to make sure that you're on X.264 encoder. Best quality. All right, we're ready to rock. So we do that, we do this, we go like that. Click on that, and we submit it to the batch by going like this. And you can call it whatever you want. We'll just call this Anglo Arts Cassette. Submit, and we're off to the races. And as you can see over here, we have estimates on time and everything there. But at this point, this is where most of the hard work is being done. And as you can see, I'm just gonna cancel this because I've already done it. But it's really revving up right now, so it'll take a moment for the computer to rev down. But I will show you the difference in file size here. So this is the album video, 4K 2496 with zero compression applied to the video portion. It's 302.86 gigabytes, and that's for a 55-minute video. So we don't need all that extra gigabyteage. So here is the X.264 10K with uncompressed audio file. Oh, it's 6.1 gigabytes, but it has the exact same audio files as this one, which is really, really cool. So we managed to take it from 300 gigabytes, more than 300 gigabytes, to 6 gigabytes. So that'll be a real quick upload to YouTube, and it'll be a 4K video file, and it will have the 4K option. Unfortunately, not for Safari, which right now doesn't show the 2K and 4K options for videos that have been uploaded at 4K, but for Chrome and for Firefox, YouTube decides what it wants to give you the option to do. But with both of those, and with streaming services through your TVs and various things that display 4K, it will allow the 4K option. My little brother actually just played this record at 4K on his 4K TV streaming from YouTube, and he said his mind was just blown by the quality of the actual image that was just static throughout the whole video, and by the audio quality, which he had actually hooked up to a pretty big sound system with an amp and some big speakers. So I'll let you guys judge for yourself. You can see the links in the links below to this file, and then also to this Latless Sky cassette rip that we also did at $24.96, which is another video that I made exactly the same way. As you can see here, it's a 50-minute long cassette, and we captured it super hi-fi. I actually used my Nakamichi deck at home here along with my Lynx Hilo converter, so I wasn't using the Pacific Microsonics HD-CD Model 2, but we were using another, mastering level converter. I don't know if that's laughed at these days or not, but the Hilo is really, really good. So no complaints there. It sounds really amazing. It was something I just kind of stumbled on by accident. And I'll put a link for this as well. But as you can see here, it was also 5.45 gigabytes, which I'd have to go in and look, but I think that the audio itself is, 3 gigs of that. So basically, not even basically, you're exactly leaving the audio completely uncompressed and then just creating a really tiny video file that is still extremely high resolution. You just take that and now you upload it to YouTube, and you're golden. And if you have any questions, just ask on this video or on my blog, alekeagon.blog. Thanks for watching.